Welcome back to the channel, viewers. My name is Rodders and this is On the Bridle, a show where we give you the highs, the lows and the latest updates on the world of horse racing. In this episode we are exploring 10 exciting novice chasers for the 25-26 National Hunt season to come. To kick this episode off, I'm going to say a massive thank you to the 43 subscribers that are currently on the channel. We have a very long way to go before we get to the 1,000 mark. At that 1,000 mark, we can then start to try and get trainers' interviews and all the good stuff that you really want to see. If you're yet to subscribe, please do consider it. It really will help this channel out a whole bundle. The path is long, viewers, but with your help we can get there. If any of you have any comments about the horses featured in this video or the channel, put them in the comment section below. I quite like going through the comment section, and a few of you have put me to rights on a few mistakes, so apologies for the mistakes. We're only human, but well done to those viewers who spotted the mistakes. Sharp as a tack. Enough of me boring you with the finer details though, viewers. Let's get into it. The first horse we're going to talk about is Brighter Days Ahead. Now, last year was a bit of an anti-climax for her, after being considered heavy favourite in many people's minds for the Champion Hurdle. She's gone twice to the Cheltenham Festival and twice she has failed. This seems to be a bit of a family trait, seeing as her relatives have never won at Cheltenham either. Last season she was muted to be going chasing, but at that last moment Gordon Elliott decided that he would keep her over hurdles, just to see if she could fulfil the promise she had shown. Fortunately, it didn't work out quite so well as he had imagined, so she is going chasing this year. Her target for the Cheltenham Festival will be the Mrs. Paddy Power Chase. 2 miles 4 around Cheltenham should be ideal for her. Her track record obviously is quite abysmal, but she could be a class act over fences and maybe, just maybe, make it third time lucky. But nevertheless, she is an exciting chasing prospect for this coming season.
One horse finish, it's the mare!
Celtic Dino is a big, beautiful beast who has always looked like a chaser. If you look at the way he jumps hurdles, he has the technique of a chaser. In fact, he's the half-brother to the smart chaser Saint Segal, and I reckon this coming season he will have real class over the bigger obstacles. There are no possibilities for him over hurdles, and he will be a very exciting addition to chasing.
Wade out in second, Joyous in third, nothing to see behind those, and it's Celtic Dino and Gillen Donston 4-5 lengths ahead go on to win. Wade out in second, Joyous, she ran.
Final Demand has been the apple of my eye last season. He made me an awful lot of money last season, including on his debut down at Limerick, where he jumped like an absolute stag. I seen him this day, and even though he was jumping hurdles, I could envisage him jumping fences. He's going to be a 3-miler this year, there's no doubt about it. I don't think Willie Mullins wanted to send him over 3 miles last year, just in case he ruined him. But this year he will be a 3-miler, and in 2027 I expect him to be lining up in the Cheltenham Gold Cup.
Lana Holmes, champion novice. It's Final Demand and Paul Townend. Now followed through by the Yellow Clay and Sam Ewing, who are within a length. Eastern Legend relegated to a disputing third under Kieran Buckley, with Queensbury boy David Maxwell and Bellocchio Rachel Blackmore, and then Funicula, Tripoli Flood and Lovely Hurling. 3 out, Final Demand. Jumped it beautifully, extended the lead at 3 over the Yellow Clay, ridden away from the hurdle. Followed then by Queensbury boy Bellocchio. On the move from the back is Lovely Hurling. And then comes Tripoli Flower, Funicula, and losing contact is Eastern Legend. The Yellow Clay is now passed for second by Lovely Hurling, who sets off in pursuit of Final Demand. Running round the home turn for the final flight. It is final demand and Paul Townend by 2 lengths to Lovely Hurling and Mark Walsh. You're now driven along in second to try and close. The Yellow Clay 4 lengths down in third. And then Tripoli Flat and Bellocchio, but it is final demand. Holding under pressure, coming to the final flight. And it is final demand further clear. Over the last goes final demand with the Elena Holmes champion Novice Hurdle 1 in impressive style as final demand restores winning ways for Paul Townend and Willie Mullins. It's
Horace's Pearl is a horse who's always held a lot of ability, beating his stablemate Tripoli Flyer in the Aintree bumper and continuing in the spirit of a very, very good horse over hurdles. He had some really, really good runs last year, and I expect him to continue in this vein when he goes chasing this season. I can't see him remaining over hurdles. There's not a lot of opportunities for him, but he will be one definitely worth looking out for when you see him in the declarations for his chase debut.
No answer to him, and Horace's Pearl is going to go clear here and make it a 5th career victory from 5 starts, and does it
Ability alone should see Mr. Megget make a really promising start to his chase career. He should be going chasing this year. They didn't race him extensively last year. I think they were saving him for a chasing career this season. John O'Neill likes to take a horse on the slowly approach. He's in Trevor Hemming's colours, and they tend to take a quite patient approach with their horses. And I expect to see Mr. Megget shine over fences this coming season.
He hasn't blinked on Mr. Megget. He lands in front by a length now. Mr. Megget shaken up off the jury, running a very big race the outside for David Maxwell. But this is very classy. It's Mr. Megget who's sauntering clear of off the jury. He looked good in his bumpers. He looks very good in his debut over hurdles. Mr. Megget takes it.
Nab Wood is my very left field addition to these 10 potential chasers for the 25-26 season. As you can see here, he's up at Kelso, he's in the red cap, he's in about 6th place, and he cruises through this race in the style of a very, very smart animal. He was winless last year, but he contested a lot of smart races up north, and I would be very surprised if Nicky Richards didn't take advantage of this big beast of an animal, and I expect Nab Wood to be amongst the top chasers in the north this coming season.
Stragglers, what you do now, Buddy, is one of those stragglers. So too Paris C and House de Bell. So turning in, second last hurdle looming up. Choose a Copper in front by 2. Rob Roy McGregor, Ryan Manny just asking this horse now to try and challenge. Nab Wood is just in behind them for Sean Quinlan. Tufton Avenue is under pressure, losing ground. Gypsy Secrets trying to get into it for Stephen Mulqueen, and the green and yellow up along the inside. That was the second last. Choose a Copper. Look at Nab Wood. Now, Nab Wood's raced with plenty of enthusiasm, been keen for a lot of the journey, and Nab Wood looks as Sean Quinlan more than once has taken a pull on Nab Wood. This horse travelled really well, going to the final furlong with 1 to jump. Nab Wood right alongside Choose a Copper, and those two are being followed by Gypsy Secret. A confident looking Sean Quinlan takes a look over his shoulder to see where the third horse is. Nab Wood is in front at the final flight, over the last, on the run in. Nab Wood's going clear. Choose a Copper second place. Gypsy Secret third. More than once in this race, Sean Quinlan had to take a pull. This horse has travelled really well. Nab Wood has bolted up.
Road Less Travelled is a horse who's always going to benefit for a bigger obstacle. He ran 5 times last year. His crowning glory was this race, which was grade 2. He ran in a grade 1 afterwards behind Potter's Charm, pulled up, and he was pulled up on his last run. As explained before, the yard always like to take a patient approach with their horses, and it usually pays off in dividends. He beat a horse called Country Mile in this race, who has cruised up before this race at Cheltenham, and I believe from the front this horse is going to be very, very hard to catch over a fence. He is a point-to-point winner, and I expect him to be very, very exciting at the start of this coming season.
Mile, though, continuing to give chase. Lily de Burley down on her nose now, being pressed for third by Bold Light. Now Skelton just begins to finesse Country Mile into it, just ghosting into it behind Road Less Travel. 2 out, Road Less Travel. Perhaps a little more fluent than Country Mile. They've drawn well away from Bold Light. So 1 left to jump and then a short run to the line. Road Less Travel. Country Mile has been switched out by Skelton, beginning to gather a head of steam. Road Less Travel still has the lead. Furlong to go. 1 to jump in the Newton Novices hurdle. Road Less Travelled over Country Mile. And Country Mile was down on his nose, pitched deeply into the ground. And that has surely handed the initiative and an unassailable initiative to Road Less Travelled, who makes every inch to remain unbeaten over hurdles and wins the Betfair Newton Novices.
Tishan is a horse I expect to see over fences this year. He's trained by Paul Nicholls. He ran in 2 bumpers in the 2023 season. Then he was put away. He was supposed to be out last season over hurdles, but I think Paul Nicholls decided to give him a year to let him strengthen up. He was a point-to-point winner and then bought immediately afterwards. He was actually one of the most impressive point-to-point winners of 2023, winning his point-to-point by 40 plus lengths. And it goes through this race in the manner of a really, really smart animal. If this horse gets out in the lead over a fence this coming season, they will not see which way he goes. He's very exciting indeed.
Terms with Gazmani, then Peacenik towards the outer. Sawdust is still plugging on. At this stage, Thomas Rainwater hasn't been able to pick up, but Tishan has travelled really strongly throughout here. Peacenik is giving it a good go in second place as the two begin to pull away from Sawdust, then Gazmani. But Tishan has readily extended 3 lengths clear here. Peacenik is giving valiant but vain pursuit. Sawdust in third and Tishan making light of the conditions here. Looks a nice young prospect, a winning pointer. But Paul Nicholls and Johnny Delay will follow up on Rule's debut in style and draw Harry Cobden level with Sean Bowen on 120.
Tripoli Flyer is a horse with an enormous amount of ability, and he's due to go chasing this coming season. He isn't the best of hurdlers by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, he does take a liberty with 1 or 2 of them, but sometimes it's these horses that prove to be the best chasers because the hurdles just seem like an inconvenience to them. They respect the fences a little bit more, and if this horse manages to negotiate fences at the first time of asking, he's got a really, really bright future ahead of him in the chasing game.
Exertions beginning to take their toll. That one now relegated to third as Andershan and Miami Magic go on as they start to make the turn for home. Celtic Dino's being smothered into this on the rail. Royce round the outside beginning to struggle. Then Tripoli Fly around the outside. The blue and yellow colours is getting appreciably closer. Then Blue Singer Royce and at the back of the field Starcross Lover. They're starting to make the turn for home now and it's Andershan tackled and passed by Miami Magic who's travelling very strongly indeed. Followed then in third spot by Celtic Dino, now being asked a question or two. The danger could be Tripoli Flyer as they make their way down towards the second last flight of hurdles now. And it's Miami Magic just to Tripoli Flyer in second. Tripoli Flyer landed in the lead to Miami Magic in second. Then Celtic Dino in third. Blue Singers run a good race, moving now into fourth. Down towards the final flight they come. Tripoli Flyer, Miami Magic, Tripoli Flyer by a length now as they come to the final flight. Tripoli Flyer got in a bit tight, didn't jump it really well. In second position is Miami Magic doing its best, but Tripoli Flyer held out of that pace in the early stages, is coming home really strongly. Tripoli Flyer, lovely ride from Jonathan Burke to win. Miami Magic's finished in second. Celtic Dino.
And very last on this list is a horse called Barry the Butcher. He was bought for €400,000 after winning this race. There is a Grade 1 winner in this point-to-point called Croke Park, and he readily takes care of him. He's in the Henry de Bromhead stable. This point-to-point was in 2022, which means he hasn't been seen for 3 years. I'd imagine he's had some sort of an issue. You wouldn't keep a €400,000 horse away from the racetrack for 3 years without an issue. But if he does show up in a beginner's chase this year, I would love to see how he does. He's a big, gorgeous horse.
It's in front of him, so it is wishful drinking. Now upsides Luck to the West, who's jumped well to this point. Barry the Butcher's another one making menacing ground on the outside. Croke Park is right on the inside, holding his position, tracking the leaders. Man at work trying to go between runners. And Ballybeg Boss is just 2 or 3 lengths adrift of the front 5 as the pace of the race really now beginning to pick up as they go out over the third last. Ballybeg Boss now just being driven along to try and remain in contention. Has come to the fog, was pulled up before the third last. But it is Wishful Drinking who has the narrow advantage, but has just been headed because Barry the Butcher is striding on in the hands of Jack Hendrick, has got a length or a half advantage. Boxing away down the inside, Look to the West, Man at Work and Wishful Drinking. Croke Park has plenty to do at this stage, the favourite. He's in 5th position as Jack Barry the Butcher went safely at over the second last. He's established the advantage upwards of 4 or 5 lengths now and is beginning to pull clear. Look to the West is in second. Croke Park is now finding top gear and is staying on into second. They're being followed by Man at Work, but it's Barry the Butcher and Jack Hendrick to be caught. As they race on down towards the 14th and final fence, Barry the Butcher measures it well. He has the advantage over 6 lengths. Man at Work is down. Look to the West is down. And it's Barry the Butcher is being pushed out by Jack Hendrick for the Cormac Doyle yard. Made a decisive move coming.